Hey there, stargazers and political junkies. Today we're diving headfirst into the fascinating world of Zi Wei Dou Shu. It sounds like something you'd order at a fancy dim sum restaurant, right? But trust me, this ancient Chinese astrology system is way more exciting than a plate of dumplings. Think of it like a cosmic spreadsheet for your life, charting your destiny with amazing accuracy. And guess whose life we're analyzing? You got it, Donald J. Trump. Let's be real, folks. Donald Trump isn't exactly known for his subtlety. He's loud, he's brash, and he always seems to be at the center of some kind of cosmic drama. Well, according to Zi Wei Dou Shu, this isn't just a personality quirk, it's practically written in the stars. In Trump's case, his life palace is jam-packed with powerful stars that scream leader. All right, folks, let's zoom in on Trump's life palace, the cosmic command center of his Zi Wei Dou Shu chart. And who's sitting on the throne? None other than Zi Wei, the Emperor Star. Think of Zi Wei as the celestial equivalent of a heavyweight boxing champion, powerful, commanding, and always ready to take center stage. This star isn't about blending into the background, folks. Zi Wei is all about standing out, leading the charge, and making sure everyone knows who's in charge. Sound familiar? It's the kind of energy that explains those massive rallies, the bold pronouncements, and the constant need to dominate the news cycle. But Zi Wei isn't just about raw power. This star also brings a heavy dose of charisma and natural leadership ability. Of course, no emperor rules alone. And in Trump's life palace, Zi Wei has a powerful ally, Tian, the Treasury Star. Think of Tian as the ultimate CFO of the cosmos, obsessed with wealth, resources, and building a lasting legacy. This star is all about financial savvy, strategic planning, and a deep-seated desire to accumulate wealth and influence. And when Tian teams up with Zi Wei in the life palace, well, let's just say it creates a potent cocktail of ambition, drive, and a relentless focus on success. But Tian isn't just about hoarding wealth. This star also represents a desire for stability, security, and building something that will last. So, when we see Tian shining brightly in Trump's life palace, we can see why he's so focused on economic policies, trade deals, and cementing his place as a business tycoon turned political powerhouse. Now, here's where things get interesting. While Zi Wei and Tian might sound like a recipe for unstoppable success, there's a catch. You see, this cosmic power couple comes with a built-in vulnerability, a deep-seated need for validation. Remember that Emperor Star energy? Well, emperors thrive on recognition, admiration, and the constant affirmation that they're doing a good job. And Tian, this star craves respect, acknowledgement, and the reassurance that their hard work is paying off. This need for validation isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can be a powerful motivator, pushing individuals to strive for greatness and achieve remarkable things. But it can also become a double-edged sword. Okay, folks, buckle up because we're about to take a trip through time. Astrologically speaking, that is. You see, in Zi Wei Dou Shu, it's not just your birth chart that matters. We've also got something called decade luck, which basically tracks the cosmic weather patterns of your life in 10-year chunks. And guess what? From 2016 to 2025, Trump's decade luck is all about, you guessed it, Zi Wei and Tian. During this period, those core Zi Wei and Tian energies, leadership, ambition, a hunger for wealth and legacy, are amplified to the max. It's like the universe is giving Trump a cosmic bullhorn and saying, go ahead, make your mark on the world. This cosmic boost can manifest in positive ways too, driving incredible achievements, bold initiatives, and a relentless pursuit of goals. But one thing's for sure, with Zi Wei and Tian calling the shots, things are guaranteed to be anything but boring. So, what happens when you take those already powerful Zi Wei and Tian energies and crank them up to 11 for an entire decade? Well, for starters, you get a leader who's not afraid to shake things up, and that's putting it mildly. We're talking about a time when Trump's natural inclination to lead, to dominate, to leave his mark on the world, is running on cosmic overdrive. Every action, every decision, every tweet, and let's be real, there will be tweets, is infused with this amplified energy. Think about it, his rise to power in 2016, his unconventional approach to diplomacy, his relentless focus on economic deals, it all falls right in line with this cosmic alignment. And if he were to return to the Oval Office in 2025, well, let's just say we can expect more of the same, but with even bigger stakes and potentially even bolder moves. This is a time when Trump's leadership style, his ambition, his desire to reshape the world in his image, is being broadcast on a global scale. Now here's where things get really interesting. Remember how we talked about Tian obsession with legacy? Well, when you factor in the end date of Trump's amped-up cosmic cycle, 2025, it starts to look a lot like a celestial deadline. Think about it. If you were Donald J. Trump and you had a limited window to cement your place in the history books, how would you approach it? Would you play it safe? Stick to the status quo and hope for the best? Or would you go all in, make bold moves and try to reshape the world in your image while you still had the chance? With Zi Wei and Tian calling the shots, it's safe to say that subtlety and restraint aren't exactly top priorities. So as we head towards 2025, the end of Trump's cosmic power hour, it's worth asking ourselves, what bold moves, what legacy-defining actions might he take to secure his place on the world stage? All right, folks, let's bring this cosmic circus back home to the good old US of A. Because if there's one thing we know about Trump, it's that he loves to make America the center of attention. And according to his Zi Wei Dou Shu chart, his potential 2025 comeback could mean big changes for the American economy, American society, and well, pretty much everything in between. Now, before you start prepping for a dystopian future straight out of a sci-fi movie, let's remember that astrology isn't about predicting the future with absolute certainty. It's more like reading the cosmic weather forecast. We can see the potential for storms, but we can't say for sure when or where they'll hit. Remember those powerful stars we talked about? Well, in Trump's wealth palace, we've got a couple of heavy hitters calling the shots. First up is Wu Chu, the military star, which despite its name also has a major influence on financial matters. Think of Wu Chu as the cosmic equivalent of a high-stakes poker player. Bold, strategic, and always willing to take a gamble. This star thrives on competition, on calculated risks, and on making big moves that disrupt the status quo. And when it comes to the economy, that translates into things like aggressive trade negotiations, tariffs designed to protect American industries, and a general disdain for anything that smacks of globalism. This star's boldness can lead to incredible innovation, economic growth, and a resurgence of American industries that have struggled in recent decades. But it also has the potential to backfire spectacularly, leading to trade wars, market volatility, and economic uncertainty for everyday Americans. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or maybe we should say the donkey and the elephant in the room. Because when it comes to Trump's leadership style, there's one thing that's almost impossible to ignore. Its tendency to divide rather than unite. And according to his Zi Wei Dou Shu chart, this polarization paradox is only going to get more pronounced if he returns to power in 2025. The more Trump feels challenged, the more he'll double down on the rhetoric and policies that appeal to his base, even if it means alienating or even demonizing those who disagree with him. And the more divided the country becomes, the more entrenched both sides will become in their beliefs, making compromise and collaboration feel like distant memories. This doesn't necessarily mean that America is headed for a full-blown civil war, though, let's be real, things are pretty wild these days. But it does suggest that Trump's potential 2025 presidency could be marked by heightened tensions, increased social unrest, and a political climate that's more about scoring points than finding common ground. All right, mates, let's hop across the pond and head down under to the land of sunshine, shrimp on the barbie, and, well, increasingly complicated geopolitical situations. Because when it comes to Trump's potential 2025 comeback, Australia finds itself smack dab in the middle of a cosmic tug-of-war. You see, Australia has always prided itself on its laid-back attitude and no-worries approach to life. But when it comes to navigating the choppy waters of US-China relations, especially with Trump at the helm, no worries just isn't going to cut it. On the one hand, Australia has a long-standing alliance with the US, a shared history and a deep-seated belief in democratic values. Plus, with China flexing its muscles in the Indo-Pacific region, having Uncle Sam as your wingman doesn't exactly hurt. Now let's talk about AUKUS, the trilateral security pact between Australia, the UK and the US. That's got everyone in the Indo-Pacific region buzzing, and China a tad bit irritated. Because if Trump returns to the White House in 2025, this already significant agreement could be in for a serious power surge. Remember how Trump's chart is all about projecting strength, asserting dominance, and generally not being shy about throwing America's weight around? Well, AUKUS fits right into that cosmic playbook. It's a way for the US to counter China's growing influence, strengthen its military presence in the region, and remind everyone who's still calling the shots. And with Trump's amplified Zi Wei and Tian energies in play, we can expect him to push for an even more assertive AUKUS agenda. Think increased military cooperation, a faster timeline for delivering those nuclear-powered submarines to Australia, and maybe even some joint military exercises that are sure to raise eyebrows in Beijing. Of course, this doesn't mean Australia will just roll over and become America's aircraft carrier in the Pacific. Section 3. The China Conundrum: Balancing Act or Breaking Point. How does Australia balance its economic ties with China while strengthening its military alliance with the US? It's a tricky diplomatic act. Australia can't afford to alienate China. Those exports are crucial, but ignoring China's assertive behavior isn't an option. Australia must protect its interests and security. It's a high-stakes game of diplomacy. Buckle up, mates. This ride is just getting started. Section 1. The Dragon Awakens. China's not playing nice. Let's shift our focus to China, the rising global superpower. China has never been a big fan of Donald Trump. His America First rhetoric and trade wars were seen as threats. A Trump comeback could escalate US-China tensions. Two alpha predators, each convinced it's top dog. Trump's amplified energies mean he won't back down. Section 2, Trade Wars 2.0 - this time it's personal trade wars 2.0. This time things could get even more heated and unpredictable. Remember those tariffs Trump imposed on Chinese goods? Just a warm-up act. With Wu Chu and his wealth palace, Trump's approach could be more aggressive and chaotic. We're talking about potential tariff escalations, new sanctions on key Chinese industries, and pressuring other countries to choose sides. The South China Sea remains a flashpoint for US-China tensions. We could see increased US naval patrols, more freedom of navigation operations, and tense standoffs making everyone nervous. Checkmate or stalemate, China's strategic countermoves. Now, before you start prepping for World War III, let's remember that China isn't exactly known for backing down from a challenge either. They've got their own cosmic playbook, their own strategic goals, and they're not going to let Trump push them around without a fight. The big question is, how does China respond to Trump's amplified aggression? Do they retaliate in kind, triggering a tit-for-tat escalation that could spiral out of control? Or do they play the long game, relying on their economic clout, their growing diplomatic influence, and their strategic patience to weather the storm? It's a tough call, and even seasoned China watchers are divided on how things might shake out. Some believe that China will be forced to respond forcefully to any perceived US provocations, especially if it makes them look weak on the world stage. Others argue that China's leaders are too savvy, too focused on their long-term goals to get dragged into a conflict that could derail their economic progress and undermine their carefully crafted image as a responsible global power. Brexit bargains and transatlantic tensions. Let's pop over to the land of tea, crumpets and Brexit. The UK finds itself in a cosmic geopolitical drama. With Trump back, the special relationship might feel one-sided. Remember Tian? It's about America coming out on top. That energy isn't known for generosity or compromise. Post-Brexit trade deals, no freebies from Trump. He'll strike deals benefiting American businesses first. And let's not forget about AUKUS, Closer military cooperation with the US could be tricky. Balancing ties with the US, China, and the EU, it'll require serious diplomatic juggling skills. The cosmic perfect storm, so there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of the potential global impact of a Trump presidency in 2025, all seen through the lens of Zi Wei Dou Shu. Remember, astrology isn't about predicting the future with absolute certainty. It's like a weather map showing storm clouds gathering on the horizon. We can see potential wild weather, but not when or where it will hit. The potential return of Trump, geopolitical tensions, the rise of China, and the lingering effects of the pandemic creates a perfect storm of cosmic energy. Whether this leads to global cooperation, a meltdown of the international order, or something in between remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be one heck of a ride. Fasten your seatbelts and grab the popcorn. What can we do with all this cosmic insight? Politics isn't just boring old men in suits arguing. Decisions made by leaders like Trump affect the globe. Pay attention to global trends and shifting alliances. And yes, even cosmic cycles. Awareness helps us navigate ups and downs. But let's not forget to have fun. Geopolitics can be heavy. When overwhelmed, take a deep breath, grab a snack and enjoy the show. Maybe we can influence the outcome or just have a great story to tell. Either way, it's going to be interesting.